Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
And we get the back view of him. And I mean, it's just a mega.
52 yards is a long shot. Magnum PI is what we named him. No idea.
Just a magnum.
Yeah, just a magnum.
Come on, Cam, last year we said probably 150, mid 150.
Yeah.
Same doe from the morning come out with that 9-pointer.
Here steps out this 90-inch 8-point. You're like,
I'm like, okay, well, there's still a buck back there grunting.
Yeah.
And then out steps like another 90-inch 8-pointer. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like, deer, right there.
Yeah, like
and he's
30
already
yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
He was literally 5 yards from the base of the tree. Could have been, had a buck down at 1:40 in the afternoon, back there deep on public. 3 does come out pretty early. It was like 245, 24 yards shot, sent to combat veteran, and I tell you what, man, dude, it just smoked. We always get so jacked up when the other person kills. It's just almost like we got it done.
Yeah. And when you killed that doe, I was like, hell yeah, man.
And we come down here to Missouri.
I asked Comey one more time. I'm like, is it a good buck? And he goes, yeah, real good, solid buck. I'm like, all right, boom. And the deer just drops for sure. Super special meat.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy. Baller Rut.
Here we go, day number 89 in the streets.
Girl, I wish we were in the streets. It'd be a little easier walking.
I know. Oh, what? What day? 13? 14?
This is day 14 here.
14. Man.
Just ripping by the days.
Yeah, a lot of days out there. We're at a point now where we've seen the same amount of deer the whole trip as days.
Sick.
All right, no, we had a really good hunt this morning. So let's get into the people that make this possible, and we'll get into the show. We'll start out with Exodus. We pulled the last Exodus off the piece today.
Off the Magnum zone.
Because it's closed, and man, just had a 150 class buck with this flyer drop deal going on. Just bedded out in front of the cam.
Yeah.
For
2 hours.
Got a bunch of videos of him, walking through, hitting the scrape, bedding. Super cool, man. Video mode on trail cameras is just awesome. And then we ran another trail cam by it, a mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the
flash.
The flash. Deer didn't give a shit.
You're scaring all the deer.
Yeah, it was crazy to see the flash, and then the deer not care at all.
No,
not even look at it.
There was a doe there for about 19 videos, just checking it out.
The buck is bedded out there, and the thing is just flashing at him.
Because the coons are walking on the trail,
Yeah,
you can see
the coons are walking right in front of him. He's just bedded out there right behind him. Camera's just flashing like a mug out there.
Coons going out the back door, dude. It was pretty funny.
Bedded as hell. So we'll share that video at some point, I'm sure. But it's cool to see the camera flashing and then that deer
don't even
care at all.
Because the Lift 2 is just full on LEDs the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Do you have a VIP shout out?
Yeah. Today's shout-out is going to be sent in from Tyler again. Tyler, we appreciate you sending these in, man. He wants to nominate Alexis Wax for the shout-out today. And, Alexis, we appreciate everything that you've done for this country and everybody here.
Yeah, we super appreciate it. We appreciate you, though, emailing those shout-outs in. Like I said, we got a bunch of these to get through, so we're using this as an advantage to blow through them. So, Magnum lives. He's not going to get a combat this year.
Nope, not getting a combat.
We're in the new spot, but we had a really good morning. We did get word that Magnum is 1.5 miles to the west on a private ground food plot.
Yesterday at 1:30.
Yeah. So, with a doe.
With 2 does.
So.
Kind of hard to get him there.
Yeah, and he was 1 mile the other direction at 10 p.m. that night. So dude went 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Just a freaking 190 class deer just trotting 2.5 miles.
in about 14 hours.
Yeah. Plenty of daylight hours. You know what I mean?
A lot of daylight hours.
A lot of daylight.
But where he went through, there is not a soul
No.
for a lot of it.
No, you know what I mean? But just to think about that, I mean, a big deer does like something like that, it's full tilt out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been full tilt for a while, but go ahead and break down the morning, and then I'll cover the evening because it was just too much fun.
Okay. So we're set up in this doe bedding area, this new spot. We had never scouted it. We're just actually going off of past hunts of this week and this week and a half, really. And we've seen this, just like Cody said yesterday. Got a big doe, got a medium doe, and got a small doe. We're just hoping one of them's hot. And sure enough, here about 7:30, these does start rolling in, and I seen the first one running across this marsh bottom, and I'm like, okay, there's a doe up there. I didn't know that it was the 3-pack that we were waiting on, and I'm like, okay, doe's getting chased over there, comes down out into the marsh. I'm like, okay, she's standing there looking back for like 2 minutes. I'm like, oh man, this is perfect. I'm looking up on the ridge, waiting to see a buck cruising with his nose down. And then here comes another doe. And another doe. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We got the 3-pack here. They just need to work up in here. It'd be nice to know what trail they get in on there, too. It's not like a super beaten down path, as much as I would say that they probably are in there. And they just went to the other bedding that...
Where they came out of the other day.
Yeah, where they came out of the other day to go to where we were set up today.
But it was a south.
It was a south. The other day was a south, though,
Southwest.
too. Oh, yeah.
That bedding sets up better for a south. Today was a southeast.
Right.
So I think that other bedding sets up better for a southwest for them.
Yeah.
But they went to a southeast, I'm sorry. And they went to a southwest. They went to the other side.
Yeah.
So something to think about. You know, if the guys are walking in across that ag,
Mm-hmm.
you would want a southwest in this corner over here to blow them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Something to think about. Go ahead.
Yep. So they worked off, and then back up over there where we seen them does the first time, there's just a random buck over there. Pretty solid buck. Didn't get a super good look at him, but he was just working that time. Yeah,
the first buck?
you
super solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the good look at him.
I think that's one of the biggest deer we've seen out there besides Magnum. I think it was like high 140s, 150 class.
Okay.
Tall.
Yeah.
Compared to the second buck, way bigger.
Oh.
So
he was working the top end of this Oak Ridge and hit the grunt, looked over at us, nothing. We hit the horns on him, just looked, and then hit a doe bleed, and he just worked off.
Yeah, he didn't, just kept browsing.
No, yeah, he was literally browsing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Just browse right into those oaks.
So I don't know what time that was. And then...
It was late, probably 8:30.
8:30, yeah.
Yeah.
So sitting there, and I just look over there again. Here comes a doe bouncing down the hill off the hayfield. I'm like, oh, there's a deer over there. And then it looked like she was getting chased, but she was like coming straight at us. And I was waiting to see the buck come behind her too. And the buck's already like 3/4 of the way down the hill, going perpendicular to the way she is. So I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So I don't know if she was just up there bouncing around a little bit. He went up there and bumped her, and she got all squirrely. She's like, shit, I need to get back down here. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the previous 20 seconds entailed, but he was already right on that same trail that first buck was on. So now we've seen 2 shooters go on the same trail, and we're just like, we just picked the wrong spot.
Picked the wrong ridge.
We just picked the wrong ridge.
But that's further away from where we encountered Magnum.
I was going to say, we asked each other, we're like, probably what you should do is tear down, go over there, set up. Like, you just seen 2 bucks go in there. But we're just like, we asked each other, we're like, do you think Magnum's going to go in there? And we both said no.
Yeah.
So, and then sitting there a little while later, and Cody says, hey, there's a buck. Buck comes sneaking in. on the back side.
The way we wanted, the way we thought Magnum.
Yeah,
would
the way
came.
Magnum was going to
The
come
way we
in.
set up for a buck to come in.
Yeah.
Like money. You know what I mean?
Yep. And comes 5 yards of the tree. I mean, the dude is right there. And Cody's like, I don't know if you asked me if I was going to shoot him or I asked you, I was like, is it a shooter? Because when I first seen him, half of his rack was behind the tree. I could just see like
this is
half
what
of
I
his
said.
face
I go, shooter buck coming. And then I go, it's borderline. You got to decide. No, I mean, it was like,
it's up to you, bro.
yeah, it's up to you.
Just get me out of this shithole.
Yeah. Send it if you want. But yeah, I wouldn't have shot the deer. You know what I mean?
So yeah, he come to the tree. I mean, super good look at him. He's standing there, and I'm like, no, he gets wanted
like
to be
4
there, but he
steps,
wasn't
and then
there.
He's like up on the ridge with us too.
Yeah.
And he's like, we could have killed him at like 12 times already at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
where
then
he stopped and looked up at us. I mean, I could have been drawn already.
Yeah,
And
it was like 4 yards, looks right at us, and he's like, it takes like 3 steps back and then goes broadside right into the shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
you could have died like 85 times.
Yeah, I
bro.
know. So he just kind of circled back around and took another path. He didn't mess him up or nothing, and we're just sitting there, and then that kind of just wraps up the morning. You know, the evenings out there have been shit.
Three does in the first pack. A shooter buck, a doe, and a shooter buck, and a small buck. I mean, that's the best day we've had out there for numbers of deer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all of them but the one buck that was right by our stand came from that opposite ridge. So with this being the last day, you can use that intel next year if it even matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've never sat there and been able to see that ridge.
Not
you know what I mean?
No.
Not like that.
And
so,
we've never sat in that area and not seen deer.
Yeah. We never sat there and not seen deer like the other spot. You know, in the evening we have.
We didn't see deer in the
Oh, no, we did. We seen those does come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the night that you hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've been 100% for deer sightings in there.
You can see a long way.
Yeah.
And we ran a cam there in the area, not where we were hunting, but we were renting a cam 25 yards away from the trail Magnum was on, 25 yards north. And then the trail your buck was on is probably 15 yards from the cam. And they both meet on the tree that we were sitting on. And the cam's missing all of that just because of the location.
It just goes to show you, like, when you're walking through there and you're scouting and you're looking at a bunch of different stuff, nothing beats sitting there and watching deer do deer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat that. You know, once you see them do it, then you're like, oh, well, that's how they work. You know, you see it a couple of times, you're like, oh, well, that's how they work through here. You know what I mean?
So how we've got that camera there is we had a picture of Magnum on it last year, and we kind of put a lot of stock into that picture. One time he did one thing, and we put a lot of stock into it, and then that's how we got working around on the backside of it. And then, sure enough, we see him there this year.
Yeah, doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing. When he was on that cam last year, he was 3 minutes behind another giant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they had just picked the first trail. That first buck picked that first trail. And Magnum was like, oh, shit, yeah, he made it, so I'll just make it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know how many times he's went on the trail that we seen him on.
Yeah.
And missed him.
Yeah.
You know, he could be there 40 times. We have no idea.
Yeah, and then the other guys seen him potentially. They said they seen a absolute giant go through there when they were hunting, and we were hunting on the top. You know what I mean? So I think the bottom is way better than we thought.
Yeah.
We didn't hunt there last year.
No.
We were up on the top.
Ran
where,
a cam there last year. Had solid. That's where all the bucks that we've had on cam went right by this camera.
Where we can't hunt out there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, the cam pool this year is
Kinda
pretty shitty.
trash,
You know what I
yeah.
mean, compared to what it was like there. So you can't bank everything on the cams. Cams are great. Like, you know what deer are there. Maybe catch one slipping up early, but during the rut, you can't bank on anything on the cams.
No.
It's just random shit. But anyways, that was the morning. We had some mobiles on this property that we had to get off. You cannot go on this property after today until like March. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we pulled everything off, got out of there probably at 12:30 or so, went and got those cams. No one else out there besides
Nobody.
us on the whole entire piece. You know what I mean? And all those other guys went back there 2 days and were like, bro, we're smoked. We ain't going back. This is like our 10th day, 9th day going back there.
Yeah.
They did it 2 days. They're like, nah, we ain't going back, man. It's too much work. We're like, you only get so many opportunities to chase a 190, even if he is a mile and a half away on a food plot.
Yeah, I mean,
You never know, man.
he'll make it. Make it. He can make it back to your stand. Is
he
what I
can
mean.
make it back there, no problem.
I don't know if he'll make it next year, but he
Yeah.
can make it back to your stand.
So, but in his core area, what we think is his core area, there'd be no hunters until October.
I don't think that deer has a core area.
I think he has a core area, but I don't think he has his rut area is.
Yeah, it's
Radical.
very big. Very big.
We were talking today, and the private behind there was bought by someone else, and it's a big piece of private. And we used to just see tons of does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're just not seeing the doe numbers. So I don't know. I know that the guy we talked to said that they shot a bunch of small bucks when they were leaving the state, like fill their tags.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if they shot just a bunch of does too, because they got like on the backside of Magnum Zone, they got like 7 food plots and 5 of them have
Muddy box blinds.
muddy box blinds on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these guys aren't skipping on any of the, and with the ground they own, I mean,
2 late doe season only weekends with
Yeah.
a gun back there.
yeah, I mean they just obliterated it, and we definitely didn't have very many small like 2-year-olds on cam like
No.
we did the year before. So, anyways, this afternoon we decided to go to a new piece, and we set up. We were gonna go into one area, and we parked the truck. We talked to a guy. He was gonna go down to the complete, wouldn't mess him up. So we're walking through there. We get in there. We see a stand. We see a climber. We see a cell cam. Kind of in the area we want to set up. We're like, man, we're out here early. It's like 1. If these guys come in tonight, just trying to get a hunt in the rut, you can't hurt, you can't flaunt the guy, you know what I mean? But you don't want to be close to a stand. You're gonna mess his hunt up. You're gonna mess our hunt up. The guy's got a mobile in there, so it feels like to me that he's like that's one of his go-to spots. If you got a mobile cam in there, I feel like that's one of your go-to areas because if there's bucks in there, you're gonna go. You know what I mean? So we backed out, and there's this giant hill. I'm like, let's just climb this hill. We're set up on this ravine over here. We'll walk it out. We get to the top of the hill. There's a freaking logging machine up there. Bunch of logs everywhere. And a sign that says, do not hunt this area. Logging going on.
Yeah.
So we're like, shit. Now we got to go all the way somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like,
Wherever
we
that
got
may be.
all the crap on our back. The stand, the sticks, the camera gear, all the shit. You know what I mean? And so we walk all the way over to this other spot, and we're almost like just going to go to the truck at this point. We're like, let's just go to the truck, regroup, maybe go to a different property. But I'm like, dude, it's already like 1:30. You know what I mean? So we go in, we set up, we find this spot. We're like, don't really think it's an evening spot, but in the morning I think it'll be good. You know what I mean? So I said, we have no idea if it is an evening spot, but let's just try it out. Couple rubs there, nothing crazy, no crazy sign or anything, but something, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
In a creek bottom, could be, some cruising going on. Not close to ag, but probably 300 yards from ag, coming off in the morning, you know what I mean? So the ag's on private. We feel like there's, potential. There's some timber up there, too, that something could slip out of. So thinking in the morning, deer up there on the private feeding, slip back through that bottom. And, a buck's got a doe up in there. He finishes up, cruises out. Stuff can happen. So we end up seeing one doe. And that was it for the night. So,
the evenings have just been
yeah.
trash for us.
So we are gonna hunt there in the morning. It's supposed to be super cold. Gonna try it out. Try to set till like 11, like we normally do, and then we're gonna. If we don't have good action, we gotta change something up. We are literally beat as shit, guys. This beginning of this, I didn't think it was gonna be this rough. You know what I mean? But
No.
I know, like, people listen. Like I said, they're like, "Oh man, they're hunting. I'm working, blah blah." But man, it's
Everybody just says, keep grinding, keep grinding. We need a damn new abrasive wheel on this grinder, bro.
Yeah.
The grinder wheel is gone.
yeah. So the paper's starting to come off that sucker.
Yeah,
you know
get
what
the
I mean?
polisher on there. Let's
Yeah.
get some softy going.
yeah. We need the buffer wheel. Can we get the
Yeah.
buff wheel on this? I need to buff this last 3 days out. So, we're gonna keep going. You know, we're still hunting.
We've lost 3 pounds each.
Yeah, we weighed
3.5 pounds.
We weighed. We've lost 3.5 pounds. Homie's lost 4. I've lost 3.5 pounds. So, we figured we'd gain weight on this.
I
adventure.
figured I would too. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be smashing in the stand.
No, not because we just keep doing dumb stuff. My Pacer app, it was like 870 calories or something without a stand
just
on my
walking.
back. Yeah, without biking.
No biking.
Without a stand on my back. That's just walking.
You got a 1.5-mile bike ride on top of that.
Yeah.
And then we still had to get. Oh no, that was while we were in the stand tonight.
Yeah.
So then we still had to get all the way back to the truck.
So
that was parked way too damn far.
yeah, way far away from. There's a parking lot like half the distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just did not plan on. We were almost to the point like we just got to set up. We just got to get in a tree. Once the logging machine was there, I was like,
I was devastated.
what
I was
in the
like,
shit is just absolutely just timber's just absolutely destroyed. I'm like, yeah, let's log. Peak rut. Public land. Bring the loggers. Bring them in. Shit's prime. Got to get these trees out of here.
that guy's probably like, man, I haven't had a deer on my cell cam in a couple days. My spot is shit.
No, bro, they've been logging
500
yards
yards from
you.
you.
Just smoking stuff. It's like 100 logs out in that field. You know what I mean? It's absolutely obliterating
Giant
that place.
trees too. I mean,
Oh yeah,
all the prime shit.
the state is just cashing in right now. Once we got to there, I was like, what? What the? That's our luck. What the shit, man? You drive this public land away from your house, loggers on it. What the Peak
prime rut.
Peak rut.
Prime.
Logger boys, 65.
So if you guys can't tell, I mean, we got a little energy back here. We're not worrying about
Yeah.
chasing a 190
I mean,
anymore.
that's what
You
I
know
told.
I mean?
That's what I told him. I said, the stress of trying to make a move on Magnum is over. We didn't do it. Like, we didn't kill him. We had an encounter, which like I said, I think is a win.
Mhm.
But just the stress of, am I in the right spot? What do you think he's doing? Oh shit, he's a mile away. Is he gonna come? Like, how can we move closer to him? You know, is it? You know, I mean, there's just.
And then,
We had the encounter here. This win on this trail cam. It's just a never-ending cluster
and then you're
in your
sitting
mind.
there and you're hunting, and you're like, this deer could walk by any second.
Yeah,
Any second. Like, he's just one ridge over.
yeah,
At 42 seconds, he's going to be at 10 yards.
yeah.
Like, you just have no idea.
That's the only thing that kept us going back there. Like I said, those
Only
guys.
thing.
Oh, guys made it back there 2 days. You know what I mean?
And they know the deer's back
And
there.
they know the deer's back there, and we just kept going and going and going. And
So that's gone. So
I'm not biking anywhere.
I'm never riding a bike again, bro.
I'm not biking anywhere.
Forget that bike.
Yeah.
I'm going to torch it in half.
Yeah. Anybody that loves biking out there, you're an animal, bro. Your thighs are so solid. It's so solid.
Way better than mine.
Yeah,
dude.
I got some cotton candy ass thighs out there. I'm not built for biking. I'll tell you that right now. I got I got a seat pad on the seat, and my ass still hurts when I
Yeah,
ride that
I got
thing.
an upgraded seat on my bike. Still smoked. That's how much we've been biking.
Yeah. I told homie, I said, man, my inner thighs is just gone. Absolutely gone. I was so tired I wanted to pick damn cockaburs off me every day. The first hour and a half in the stand, all I can hear is homie. picking cockabirds.
Dude, I've transplanted a lot of them
studio-
all over the,
the
gym.
studio is a
floor.
Floor is a cockabird right now.
Yeah, there's an ass load of them in
Hardwood floor, there's a million cockabirds on this. So. All right, guys. We're going out. We're not going to kill Magnum.
here. Nope.
We're going to just hope for a solid buck to come by. That's it.
We seen one leaving the joint.
Yeah. So they're there. They're in the area. Make a game plan for tomorrow. I told homie, I said, just go in here. We're just talking about life stuff, kids, like 2 hours before, sunset. We're like 6 inches away from each other, leaning up against a tree, just talking about, stuff. And I was like, man, that's enjoyable. And it's because the stress of everything's got to be perfect. You can't, nothing can make a noise.
Yeah.
You got to set up in the right spot. What's the wind going to do for tomorrow? You're going to have to make a move because we know how he likes to transverse the ground. You're like, well, shit, if we sit up here for the morning and the wind's doing this, he's going to come right through here and bust us, and that's the last thing you want. You don't want a 190 to wind you in an area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the deer got spooked on a snort wheeze, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
After he was feeding on grass, after we grunted at him. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And then that's another thing we're talking about. We're like, you seen Magnum, you grunted at him. Like the OG playbook move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a lone buck, absolute mega thumper out there.
Yeah.
No one should be even messing with that guy.
And you grunt at him at 68 yards, and he would have come to 25 before he even knew what the hell was going on. And he
I
would
was
have
just
been
sitting there
broadside.
and I'm like, dude, you almost killed a 190 plus on public. If he would have committed to the grunt, that's it.
Done deal.
What
He
more,
would have had
what
to
more
have
can
come.
you do? Like, there's no.
There was a comment out there, and it's like, oh, don't you know you're not supposed to grunt at big bucks? Bro, what are you going to do? Just watch that deer walk out of your life?
Yeah.
You got to try
He's just walking down
something.
a trail, just cruising by himself.
Straight on a mission.
I don't think there's anybody out there that ain't reaching for their grunt.
Yeah.
You're digging in that bag. Like,
oh, dude, my grunt was very good. I mean, his first light.
Just throwing shit out of there to get a grunt at this thing.
I'm surprised you couldn't pick it up more on the audio, but I felt like I was digging for 3 minutes for that thing, dude.
He's looking at the buck, digging in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm like, who doesn't have November, no grunt tube out. Buried deep as shit like his release.
That's me.
Oh, all right. We're out.